Hey guys, it's Cameron here. Today I'm going to be putting a video out of a potential new series of drumline tips. Hopefully it's quite short, but I kind of wanted to get this idea across for anybody that's trying to break into like the next level of the marching arts activity. So one of the biggest problems that I find with marching band in general is that people like to they think it's synonymous with playing loud. And if it's not playing loud, it's often regarded as feather tapping. And there's validity to playing loud, and there's validity to the comment feather tapping. But I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on the subject. So basically, whenever we're playing marching band, we're playing typically with a horn line, pretty big. If we're talking drum corps, I mean, we're talking a humongous horn line with people that are pushing massive amounts of air through their instruments. So how do we play on the soft end without sacrificing sound quality? And I think it's a good starting point to kind of clarify what sound quality is. So in my own terms, and this is, completely my own opinion, other people may or may not agree with me, and that's okay. I just kind of wanted to put my thoughts out there. In my opinion, sound quality has kind of two components. One is the stick vibrating? Can you hear the stick vibrating? And are we pushing air through the drum? Now, obviously, this is a practice pad, but in real life, we're playing on snare drums, tenors, bass drums, whatever the case is. When you hit the head reacts on the stick bounces, it comes back up, but it also pushes air through. The head pushes air, and in the case of a snare drum, for instance, it pushes air through the body of the snare drum, activating the bottom head, making it resonate, and activating the snares. Same thing with tenors and bass drums. Obviously, no snares, and tenors don't have a bottom head, but the point being that it pushes air through the drum. So whenever we're talking about drumming, we're really pushing air through the instrument. Now, that's all fine whenever we're playing, loud. It's pretty easy to push air through the drum whenever we're playing loud because we're attacking it with a lot of velocity. But whenever we talk about getting soft, it becomes a little bit more difficult. A lot of times, whenever people think of playing soft, it gets something like this, right? And this is kind of what people in the community may or may not refer to as feather tapping, where you can't really operate comfortably in this range. Like playing flam drags and paradiddles and all of the essential rudiments for marching band is really difficult at this height because there's no velocity or really that much rebound. So I'm going to bring you guys through a progression where we can kind of play through and develop good sound quality on the low end without making it loud per se. So I have some sheets. I've probably put them in the description or something that you can read along with, but I mean the exercises are pretty straightforward. So let's start with some eights, right? Nice eights. And what we're going for here is getting a solid rebound stroke developed, right? This is something that every good drum line does. And it also is just kind of like the baseline, right? That sets up our idea and concept of what a rebound stroke is and how it feels in the hands. It's something that doesn't really take any amount of skill to get started with. It's really the introduction to marching band. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and then after, let's say we get a good feel for it and our hands are moving the right way, getting good wrist turn, stick is vibrating, all of the things, neutral hand shape, things and phrases that you might have heard. Then we're going to start kind of putting the training wheels on, so to speak, and bringing us through the progression into how to play piano with decent sound quality. So the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to do what we call down ups, which is basically the same thing, except we're going to go down and then up with the dynamics, right? Now, instead of doing 8/8-16, we're going to do long phrases of 16, just to make it easy. Eights is more of just a kind of like a check to make sure that our sound quality is where it wants. So this is the second part. Now, you'll notice that even though we're going through all the dynamics, right? And I say all of them, it's not exactly all of them. There's technically infinite amount of dynamics, right? But we're trying to take the same fundamental principles of the rebound stroke on eights and have our stick feel the same way throughout this gradient of dynamics, right? And really trying to get smoothly all the way down, smoothly all the way up. And what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that our low end is approached with the same technique that we play with on our high end. And that's really going to help keep the same congruent kind of sound quality that we're looking for regardless of dynamic levels, right? So now we're going to take that and we're going to take out the crescendo. And we're just going to take a second and kind of feel what it's like on the piano end, making sure that we understand, you know, how does it feel? Where is the stick rebounding to? And all of that good stuff, while still keeping the same fundamental principles of the overall forte rebound stroke. So it looks something similar to this. Keep it low. Now, you'll notice that my sticks aren't starting and stopping on the low end. It's kind of a blurry, constant motion, but we're still putting air through the drum and we're still using our wrists. We're still using an amount of velocity, right? That is the point. So when we go down to the piano end, we want it to feel the same way as forte, just from a lesser distance. Now, after we're done with that, so that's kind of our checkpoint to make sure that we're understanding how piano feels and we're kind of getting the training wheels to that point. Once we're comfortable doing everything before that, and you should be spending more amount of time doing the previous exercises with a metronome. I know I'm not using one right now, but using a metronome, making sure that we're comfortable moving through time and space. Tried a bunch of different tempos, but for the sake of the video, I'll just move along a little bit quicker. After we feel like we've kind of mastered or at least have a firm understanding of the rebound stroke at forte, navigating through the dynamic spectrum from forte to piano back to forte, and then going from forte, hanging out at piano for a little bit, making sure that we understand the mechanics and the sound quality involved, then we can try to approach the piano from the beginning without having to put the training wheels on and lead us all the way there. So that might look something like this. Just play 8/8/16 at piano after doing all these exercises. Now, the important thing here is that we're able to operate comfortably at a piano. Like I was saying in the beginning of the video, if we do something like this, it is technically piano, right? But we're not really getting vibrations from the stick, and we're not pushing air through the drum. Both of those are very important if we want to achieve in a outdoor marching band scenario or an indoor marching percussion scenario, right? We still want to have sound quality, meaning stick vibration and air moving through the drum. So we need to be able to kind of hang out here, keeping the sticks moving constantly. Nice little wrist turns, nothing crazy, and still getting that kind of minimum sound quality, if you will. And then from there, once you've gotten comfortable with this concept, you know, go back and just play through the whole sequence multiple times. Make sure that we can do it with congruence of technique, meaning, you know, making sure that this isn't different fundamentally than this. It is simply just less decibels. It is actually quieter, but the motion and the ideas are the same. So that's kind of my approach on how to play piano. And then once you're done with that, you know, you can try doing other rhythms at that dynamic level with that kind of sound quality. And I think if we're able to, as percussionists, navigate that piano then that really opens up our dynamics spectrum, and it lets us be really expressive on otherwise kind of monotone instruments, right? So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If I've missed anything or you have any suggestions, feel free to have a discussion down below. I really hope this video helped you guys, and thank you guys for watching.